Welcome to MegaBucks Radio. Conversations with successful entrepreneurs, sharing their tips and strategies for success. Real-world ideas that can put MegaBucks in your bank account. Here's your host, Nina Hirschberger.
Welcome to today's show. My name is Nina Hirschberger, and today I have a direct mail expert, Leo Quinn, on my podcast today. Leo and I go back a long way, and I am probably more excited about this interview than I have been in many interviews, although I have some wonderful, wonderful guests. But let me give you a little background on Leo. He's one of those guys who went to college, and I guess he didn't know what to do, so he decided he was going to get a bachelor's degree in finance. As he'll tell you in just a moment, he thought that meant you had to be a salesman selling insurance or a financial planner or something, and he realized he wasn't into that. But one thing that we have in common is he saw Jay Abraham's, what was a 15-page ad in Entrepreneur Magazine or Success Magazine back in 1990. I saw Jay's ad in 1994, so we have that in common. But he has gone on and he's become an entrepreneur. He has a really unique business that we're going to talk about today. So anyway, Leo, welcome to today's show.
Thank you, Nina. It's great to be here.
Tell me, okay, so was it Entrepreneur Magazine or was it Success Magazine that Jay had?
Yeah, it could have been either one. Back in, I think he was advertising in both, but I think he had a deal with Entrepreneur Magazine, if I remember the story correctly.
Yeah, so did you go to any of his events, or did you just...
You know, as a high school or as a college senior, I certainly didn't have $15,000 to put down on it. But I did have $2,000 available on an American Express card. And so I bought, $2,000 worth of his stuff. So I have Your Marketing Genius at Work, and I have whatever the other big one was. And it was interesting because I do remember they just arrived in a big cardboard box without any binders. And they just looked like somebody just felt sorry for me and just threw it all in a box and sent it to me because it wasn't organized other than just being in a pile of papers with holes in them. So I had to get my own binders. But it was great to have it.
Well, there's a lesson in just that. And the fact is good enough. The information that was in that box without a binder actually changed your life.
Sure, absolutely.
So sometimes we get so tied up and everything has to be perfect, or I would say, for color, oftentimes doing the opposite, no for color, just black and white in a box actually is better. Okay, so you graduated from college with a finance degree, and then it looks like you started a carpet cleaning business.
Yeah, I graduated in May of 91, and in May of 90, excuse me, and in January or February of 91, I saw an ad for Sears carpet cleaning. It said they would give you the equipment and the jobs, and you could use the equipment on your own evenings and weekends to get your own customers. And that sounded like me being in my own business. So I worked for Sears for a few months. I was making $200 a week and spending $300 a week to get there. So I was losing money on the deal. But as a finance major, you can be proud of that. I took a vacation from that job that I was losing money and went down to Savannah, Georgia, where a cousin was graduating from high school. And there was an ad in the paper there for carpet cleaning. I always look in the newspapers whenever I travel. You never know when you're going to get a good idea. And there was a carpet cleaning company down there advertising $4.95 per room carpet cleaning, and Sears was charging $13 a room. So I called them up and I said, "Hey, I'm from New York. How do you do that?" And they said, "Well, we charge extra for the Scotch Guard and the deodorizer and all that." So I came back and I put an ad in my local newspaper, a very small daily paper called the Saratogian in Saratoga Springs, New York. It was a business card sized ad, 3 rooms, $7.95 a room, 3-room minimum. So it's $23.85. And the next day, the ad ran. I was working for carpet cleaning in Hudson Falls, New York. I called my answering service because that's what we had back then. They said I had 15 calls by 10:30 in the morning. Every little old lady in Saratoga was calling me because of the price point. So that was the last day I worked for Sears, gave them back their equipment, started working on my own that day.
Did you have equipment that you bought at that point, or?
Yes, I did. I knew a carpet cleaning supplier company in Albany, and I just went there and I bought a machine, and I was on my own the next day.
So obviously, you must have upsold them to make it profitable.
Yeah, that was the idea. And this was, we're talking 30 years ago. 2385, I was in and out pretty quick jobs, but I hadn't discovered Joe Polish at that point and all his carpet cleaning stuff, but I was using the J. Abraham stuff. So I would send thank you notes with a lottery ticket attached. Hey, thanks a million for using my carpet cleaning services. So in that type of business, once you've been in business for a year, you can probably pretty much just rely on former customers if you do it right. And the nice thing about carpet cleaning is you have the address of your customer to begin with. You don't have to ask for it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So how long did you do carpet cleaning?
That was 91 to approximately 98. I was very good at getting into debt in the carpet cleaning business. Up here in the Northeast, it gets very cold, and I didn't like doing a lot of the work when it was really cold. So I didn't do too much in the winter times, and I would spend half of the next season getting out of debt. And I think in December of 96, I took a class on getting out of debt. It was through a local continuing ed organization around here. And I thought during this class, hey, I could teach a class like this. I like public speaking. I had a lot of interesting stories about being in debt and avoiding your creditors. And so that night changed my life because I bought his $500 box of stuff. And the next January, I was teaching a local workshop in continuing ed programs throughout New York, Massachusetts, and New Jersey. So I've had quite an interesting, varied career.
So were you still cleaning the carpets during the warmer months?
Yes, absolutely, but very sporadically. And I cleaned my last carpet, I think, in 1998. I had some good customers that I really enjoyed going to, and I stuck with them longer than I would have stuck with anybody else. But I was pretty much done completely in that business in 98. And then from January 97 and for 17 years, I did the local classes. In 2002, I turned my workshop, my live workshop, into an ebook. In 2002, you started seeing the word ebook around. So I developed a PDF on that, and I started selling it from my website, and did that through 2020 or so.
So then 2020, you made another major change in your life.
Well, it's something I started maybe back in 2009. I was getting tired of just sitting behind my computer, and I have all this marketing knowledge that I developed from Dan Kennedy and Jay Abraham over the years specifically, and I just wanted to work with other businesses. I like working with small business owners who have a great product or service. They just don't have the time and or energy or expertise to market it. So since 2009, I've been out there helping small businesses with their marketing, and specifically their email marketing, because as I've heard you say on many of your podcasts, all these business owners should be building lists, and they think it's a revelation when you tell them.
Yeah, that's the truth. I always say that's the number one thing. Do you have a list? No. How can you have a business and not have a list?
Yeah, well, my favorite is, I hate getting junk mail. I hate getting spam. Well, sir or madam, these people are signing up for your list. They're asking to hear from you. You enjoy getting savings from your favorite businesses, and when you put it to them like that, they unfortunately, a lot of business owners think when you talk about email marketing, you think you're just getting a list of email addresses from the ether and just sending out junk. No, you're asking them to join your email list.
Yeah, and every one of them has an unsubscribe, so if they don't want it, no problem. Just it's okay. No offense.
Exactly.
Now, but I know besides email, though, you like direct mail, and that's the very first time you and I met several years ago, and we're going to talk about that. So you had a goal 1 year to send lumpy mail out every single business day, if I recall. Do I have that right?
That is correct. I called it my lumpy mail year, and that was the goal, just to send a piece of lumpy mail every day. And I can't remember how far I made it, but I know I got too busy being a one-man band, so I wasn't able to get through the entire year. But I got on your radar somehow at that time. This was actually 2016. I'm looking at some old records here. So it was back in January 1st, 2016, probably January 2nd, because you can't mail anything on the 1st. So yes, that was my lumpy mail year. That was a fun experiment.
So who was on your list? Who were you sending this lumpy mail to?
Well, primarily small business owners in the Capital District of New York. So Albany County, Schenectady County, Rensselaer County, Saratoga County, Warren, and Washington, if any of your listeners are familiar with upstate New York. Some people will say upstate is Buffalo and Syracuse, but that's actually up and to the left. Albany, the Capital District, is upstate New York.
So what was your offer to those businesses? What did you want them to do?
Yeah, I actually wanted them just to get back in touch with me. I was selling email marketing and all sorts of things like that. And it looks like from the records that I can find, I got it to at least day 169. So that's half the year, it looks like. And that was day 169, just looking at June 6th, 17th. So yeah, it looks like I got through half the year and just had to stop because I got too busy from all the results I was getting.
So tell me about the results, because I love results.
Yes, I know you do. And it's been so long, I don't remember any specific results. I mailed you were nice enough when I got on your radar to send me a lot of nice things that I could use. I think you sent me some bank bags. I know there was some little Oscars that I could send, so I could send an award to somebody for winning the best ad that I ever saw or the worst ad I ever saw, things like that. I don't know if you've ever heard of the company that would send, it was a sequence of 3, and the first one was a postcard sized, while you were out, pink notepad that you used to find in offices. Maybe you still do. And then their next one was 8.5 by 11, and the next one was 11 by 17, and I think maybe the fourth one was poster size, while you were out. So I did one of those on my own. I didn't go to the poster size, but I did the other 3 sizes, sending those type things. So unfortunately, I don't remember any specific examples of results other than, it was I would get 2 or 3 a week, and I was doing mailings every day, every weekday during that time. Giant pink postcards. I'm looking at a picture of one. It looks like I sent a picture of a map of where their business was, and I circled it and say, most of your customers come from in here. What are you doing to capture that information? So I was always trying to do something educational, not just, I'm trying to sell you something. I would always try to be educational in my approach, just because I think that's the way to go. But it was a fun time for sure.
So you were growing your email marketing business because of that. So you used direct mail to grow that business. Now,
right.
Do you still have that business, or did you transition even beyond that?
No, it's all the same. And actually, my first lumpy mail, the first time I ever did something was back in the carpet cleaning business in the 90s. I sent a little plastic baggie of dirt attached to the letter to funeral homes, because funeral homes get a lot of foot traffic, and obviously they need carpet cleaning. I don't think I got anything from it. That's 30 years ago now. I don't remember being in any funeral homes. But that was my first foray into lumpy mail, was back in the 90s when I was sending little buckets of dirt. And obviously I got that idea from Dan Kennedy or Jay Abraham, who talked about, I think real estate agents were doing that to sell beachfront property.
Okay, so now let's talk about today. Today you are in birthday marketing. I didn't realize that what you're doing is in email marketing and birthday. So tell me, what is Birthday Marketing Agency? What do you do?
Sure. Well, this was back in 2019. Was it 2019? I did an experiment it was 2018. I did an experiment every month. And month 3 was going to be my networking month. And typically I don't like networking. I don't like small talk. I'm a very shy person, introverted. I can't walk up to somebody and just start talking to them. So I knew that if I was going to do 30 networking events in 30 days, I needed to do something to stand out. And so I thought, well, I'm going to run into a lot of marketing people at these things, but I'm pretty certain that I'm not going to run into any birthday marketers, people with that as their tagline. And sure enough, if you met me during that time, you think of me as the birthday guy. Because while I can help with any kind of marketing, people have birthdays. I'm the birthday hook in their brain. So if I'm offering advice to anybody doing anything, if you're doing networking, have some hook that people can remember. So I just came up with the idea that I would be the birthday marketing guy, and I would talk about how pretty much any business can benefit from birthday marketing. And since then, that's what I focused on. I think my joke is I run the nation's #1 birthday marketing agency because can you name another one? And of course, in the comments to this, we're going to get a bunch of them, but it works for me.
Yeah. So tell me, okay. So now let's get into the specifics. What do you do for businesses, and what's the results?
Well, the perfect kind of business to do birthday marketing is obviously a food seller, a restaurant, a pizza shop. They can give away something very nice and easy for a birthday. They can give away a free meal. That's what I recommend. I recommend you don't cheap out and offer a free drink or a free dessert after a meal. Offer a free meal for their birthday. If you sell lobster and you're afraid everybody's going to order the lobster, you can put a top dollar amount on it, $10, $15, $20. Come on in and spend $20 on your birthday at my restaurant. Nobody's going to dine alone on their birthday. They're going to bring 1, 2, 3, 4 other people who are going to pay full price. And you have the opportunity to get them on your what I call birthday list. I call it a birthday list, not an email list. And that's the best way to build your list is with the birthday approach. Because just say, hey, join our email list, we'll send you coupons. Yeah, okay. Well, join our birthday list. You'll get a free meal on your birthday, and we'll send you special offers throughout the year. So that's the idea for restaurants and food sellers. It's easy to do. Now, there are other types of businesses, really any business that has something small that they could give away as a birthday gift. Like a florist could give away a free bouquet of flowers. And it doesn't have to be roses. It can be carnations or whatever. Ice cream shops, a free ice cream cone for your birthday. There are all sorts of businesses that can do this, but don't just give it away to the person who walks in. You want to get them on your birthday list first. Join our birthday list, and then you can, on their birthday month, you can send out the happy birthday offer. And the second part of this is businesses who don't have that thing that they could give away. An orthodontist can't give away free braces to everybody for their birthday, nor do they need them. But they could, an orthodontist, a dentist, a doctor, a lawyer, a chiropractor, they can all team up with businesses in the area. Restaurants, flower shops, ice cream shops, dry cleaners, any of those businesses that have something that they could give away. They should be teaming up with local businesses to offer birthday deals. So happy birthday from Dr. Joe. Go on into Pizza Pepperoni Pizza Palace and get a free slice and a Coke for your birthday. Now, Dr. Joe loves it because he's doing something nice for his patients. It's not costing him anything. That's something that when I talk about this to doctors, they think, well, I can't pay for birthday gifts for all my patients. Well, you're not. You're teaming up with a business who sees the value in using this freebie, this birthday freebie, as a foot in the door, as an opportunity to get them on their list so that they can market to them to come back. So, if you've got something you can give away, great, do it for birthdays. If not, team up with a business that can.
So it's all about, so is this kind of like a rewards program for the restaurants?
It can be, certainly, and obviously there are plenty of solutions for that where they keep track of your points, and if you use a credit card, they'll know the time you've been there and how often you come back, and if you haven't been there in 6 months, it'll send out a thing. There's certainly that aspect of it, but in terms of businesses that don't have that thing to give away, it's really a nice way to stand out. Thanks to Facebook, we're all accustomed to getting Facebook greetings. We're not accustomed to getting Facebook or birthday greetings from our doctor or dentist or lawyer. And when we do, they stand out. I'm going to remember if my chiropractor sent me a birthday offer from a local business. So I'm going to talk about my chiropractor to other people. I'm going to mention to the restaurant, I'm here because Dr. Joe sent me my birthday present. So it helps with word of mouth. It helps with client retention. If you haven't seen a patient in a while and you actually send them a birthday offer, they're going to, hey, I haven't been to see Dr. Joe in a while. I'm going to go over there. So there's a lot of good that can come from recognizing your patient's birthday. And even if they don't use the offer that you sent to them, they don't go into Pizza Pepperoni Palace to get the pizza because they're gluten-free, hey, they still appreciate the effort. They remember you're there, and it's a nice treat.
So does the offer go to them through an email, or does the offer go to them in the mail?
it can be either way. I work with a chiropractor. He likes postcards. So he gets the postcards and he sends them out to the patients every month. It's obviously an expense there. If you haven't seen the power of birthday marketing, you might just want to send an email. And the nice thing about email is you could make 4 deals with 4 different businesses and send a birthday offer to your patients every week. Happy birthday from Dr. Joe on the first week of the month. Go on and get a free car wash. Week number 2, go on and get a free ice cream cone. So you could extend their birthday gifts throughout the month. Again, just solidifying the fact that you're a good person to do business with and ramping up the word of mouth.
So I assume that, Dr. Smith or whomever, the dentist, whatever, is the person who goes into the pizza place or the ice cream place and says, look, I've got a list of 1,000 patients, and I want to send them a gift every year on their birthday. I'm going to send a postcard, or I'm going to send them something every week by email. And so I'd like to partner with you to send these people into your business. Is that kind of how it goes?
Yes, and I actually recommend for businesses to start with their customer list. Look at your customer list and see what they do. Do you have a restaurant owner in your customer list? Do you have a pizza shop owner? So that makes the conversation a lot easier. If you already have a relationship with the person you might be partnering up with. But the way you've described will work as well. Now, it's going to take a smart business owner. You walk in and you say what you say. They're thinking, I just got to give away a bunch of free stuff to your patients. What's in it for me? So you have to, the approach would have to be more educational and probably done better in a direct mail. So they have a chance to just sit down and look at the proposal rather than just trying to walk in and interrupt their day. And they won't understand it. But yes, basically what you've described. But I think start with your customer list. Start with what do the spouses of your customers or patients do? Anytime you can shorten the distance between you and the relationship with the person you're dealing with, the better.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Now, we started off this whole conversation talking about lists, though. If the pizza place doesn't have a list or the ice cream place doesn't have a list, so what I've done is I've handed out coupons. So, but your point is, so I'm thinking through this in my brain. So if I'm going to come and get an ice cream cone, I'm not coming by myself. I'm bringing my whole family. I'm bringing my grandkids. Whatever. That's the whole point.
It is the point. And it's different for that kind of business because typically if I get a free birthday cone for my birthday, I probably am going by myself. So the approach there is a little different because they're not going to get the immediate benefit of 3 other people buying ice cream cones, typically. If it's a kid, maybe. And that's another whole sidebar. If you're in a business that brings, can do business with children, get a special birthday club for the kids. Because obviously mom and dad, the kid doesn't have any money, so mom and dad are going to come. They're going to have to bring all the siblings. So definitely start a special birthday club for kids if you can. But yes, the approach for a business where there's not going to be that 3 or 4 other people is you should be building your list. And this is a great way for you to build your list. You've got somebody to come in, they get a free ice cream cone, put them on the list. And I've got a great example of that's happening today in my area. We have Chick-fil-A has just come to our area. We had one in the Albany airport for a few years, but the first non-airport Chick-fil-A's came to our area 2 or 3 weeks ago. And of course, the hype was unbelievable. There were traffic jams everywhere, hundreds of people in line to get their Chick-fil-A. So a local philanthropist has gone to a couple places that sell chicken sandwiches and said, hey, I'll pay for pick a day and I'll pay for the first 100 chicken sandwiches that go out. So now these businesses are saying, hey, Chick-fil-A is great, but we sell chicken sandwiches too, and we're going to give away 100 chicken sandwiches to our first 100 customers on this day. And this is happening today in Schenectady, New York. It's Take Two Cafe. It's a vegan cafe, I think. So they're giving away 100 vegan chicken sandwiches to the first 100 people that come in. And I don't know what a vegan chicken sandwich is. And I could be wrong about that. It might be just regular chicken, but I think they're a vegan cafe. Anyway, I sent a message to them yesterday and I said, hey, this is going to be great. You're going to get 100 new customers. You can either have a fleeting great feeling of giving away 100 free sandwiches, or you can have the fleeting feeling of giving away 100 free sandwiches and an email list of 100 people. So I really suggested that they start an email list of these 100 people because they can invite them back. When you know how to get in touch, you can invite them back and you're not just hoping they come back. So I sent a message. I don't know if the message was received in time, but I hope they plan to collect the contact information of the people who are getting these free 100 sandwiches, because this is a golden opportunity. They're in a great mood. They're getting a free sandwich. Hey, I'll give you my name, my email, my birthday, my zip code. So that's just an example of how you benefit from giving something away. You build your own email list. They know other people. They'll come back if you invite them back.
So, Leo, what is it you do then? Do you coach these? Is it a monthly coaching program, or do they sign up for your email system? Tell me about what it is. I mean, what you're talking about is brilliant, but what do you do?
I implement all this for them. Business owners don't have time to build the list, to compose the emails, to make an approach to the local businesses. Most business owners know people. Hey, I know the guy who owns this. I know the guy who owns that. I know the guy. They just don't have time to go talk about this thing. But if I go and say, hey, Pete over at Pete's Pepperoni Pizza Pal sent me over, he has a business idea for you, they're going to be receptive to that. So I call myself the marketing implementer. Unfortunately, somebody else got marketingimplementer.com, so I can't use that. But, I've always wanted to be that person, the person who's implementing the good ideas. I can come up with plenty of good ideas, but I enjoy being the guy who implements them for you.
Yeah, and you're very good at that. In fact, if I recall, you have some birthday cakes that you're going to be sending out here pretty quick. Tell us about that.
Unfortunately, I've now made that public, so it's sort of something I have to do now. For my own prospecting, my plan for August is to deliver 30 birthday cakes to business owners that I think I can help in my capital district. So I'm going to do some research and find out the name of the owner. And I'm going to just go to my local grocery store for $11. I can get a cake, and they'll write Happy Birthday Tom, Happy Birthday Joe, Happy Birthday Bill on it. And I'm going to have those delivered to 30 businesses in the area.
Wow. Now, will it be a one-time thing, or will you then send something else?
Yes. I have to figure out what to do next. I'm going to include I'm going to do 3 different tests, because I'm doing 10, I'm doing 30, so I can do 3 sets of 10 tests. I'm going to include just a one-pager that has a QR code where they can go and get more information about why they got a birthday cake on a day that probably wasn't their birthday. I'm going to, so I'll do 10 of those. I'll include actually a resume, and I call it a resume. It's not really a resume. It's just a sales pitch, but I tell people I want to get a job with them as their birthday club manager. And of course, I own birthdayclubmanager.com. So if any restaurant owners or food sellers are listening, go to birthdayclubmanager.com. But there's I call it a resume of why I can help your business. I really don't want a typical job. It's obviously just a service, but I think it's the approach is interesting when I say I want to work for you. And so that'll be my approach. I'll send a resume with what I can do for them, so they don't have to go to a website and read. They can just read it right in front of them, which I think they'll appreciate. And I'm not sure what the third experiment with 10 birthday cakes is going to be, but for people listening, I don't know the birthdays of these people. I'm just, if you get a birthday cake on a day that's not your birthday, it stands out. It's an experience, and it's an experience for the people, the workers. I'm typically not giving it to the owner of the business. A worker is going to get it, and the worker is going to be nervous now because they think they've forgotten the boss's birthday. So it creates a little tension there as well.
No, you hire somebody to deliver those, or will you deliver them yourself?
I think I will. I couldn't do one a day, but in my experience doing lumpy mail, if I just do a bunch of it all at one time, good things happen. So I'm hoping that I can hire 1 or 2 people to deliver all the 30 cakes on one day. But I haven't gotten that far. It won't be one a day. It'll be hopefully 30 in one day, or 10 in 3 different days. I'm not sure how it'll all work out.
Well, calling yourself the marketing implementer is spot on, because so many people overthink something, and you are really an action taker from the very beginning of when you met Jay Abraham. It's obvious. People say, yeah, but Leo, it's too expensive. Look at the cakes. $11 times 30, and then you're going to hire somebody to, deliver them. And I mean, they just, if they even came up with the idea, I mean, you're extremely creative.
Well, it's just there's a lot of people out there now who are talking about things like lumpy mail, and there's just an endless sea of ideas of things to try, and I just enjoy doing. If I was ambitious enough, I probably would have been a stand-up comedian just because I like making people laugh. So this is the next best thing, sending them something goofy in the mail that hopefully makes them laugh and gets their attention. And when I follow up, they remember me.
I got to believe that with the kind of things that you send, you have an amazing response. I mean, if you send out typical direct mail, not lumpy, not interesting, not great headline, typical, I mean, you would be thrilled to get a 1% response. Yours has got to be incredibly good.
Well, yes, and it's one of my favorites was I sent. There's a company out there called sendaball.com, and they'll actually write your message on a ball and send it to people. And I did that years ago when I was looking for affiliates for my Get Out of Debt program. And a guy was on vacation when it arrived, so it sat at the post office for a week or two. And he said that when people showed up, when the guy showed up to get his mail, he said the people at the post office were disappointed because they had fun throwing the ball around. One of the things I've done is send live working cell phones to people, and I got believe it or not, about a 30% response to that. Only 30%. If I send 10, I'd hear from 30 people, but none of the people used the phone that I had sent to make the call. They had just, they were nervous about using the phone. So you learn some things about human nature when you do stuff like this. But it's been fun. I'm not a great record keeper in terms of that. I know my most successful ever was December 24th, 2004. I sent 49 FedEx packages to people that I thought would be good affiliates for my Get Out of Debt program. And I say 49, I sent 50, but one was a bad address and it came back. And I think I didn't get 10 responses from that mailing, but my income in 2005 was 6 times what it was in 2004 because of that, sending 49 packages. And that was a, $1,000 investment, but it improved my income 6 times just by doing something different. Everybody wants affiliates, but they just send emails, hey, be my affiliate. I actually got in the mail and did it that way.
Do you have a particular fond way where you get a lot of your ideas? I mean, do they just come to you? Do you have a lot of reading? Where do you get these ideas? A lot
of reading. There's an author named Stu Heineck. He's written a book called Get the Meeting, and he's a Wall Street Journal cartoonist. And his approach is he actually will just make a personalized cartoon and send it to people. And he has a very high percentage rate of doing that. So once you follow Stu Heineck on LinkedIn, then you're going to find a bunch of Dale Dupree has a business called the Sales Rebellion, and his thing is about crumpled mail. He'll crumple up a letter. You're familiar with this one, sending a letter in a garbage can and say, hey, you've thrown away my last 2 letters. I saved you the step. So he's got a little business that he started with just the crumpled mail, and he's built it into a big thing now. Someone you might want to interview on your show there, Stu Heineck and Dale Dupree. So I get a lot of ideas from there. But, back when I was doing the cell phone mailing, this was 2005 or 6 probably. I wasn't aware of anybody else doing it. I just knew that I could buy them for $10, and it would be impressive to get a live working cell phone in the mail. So I think I came up with that on my own, but the other ones I've just adapted and borrowed from other places.
Talking about the crumpled up letter in a trash can, actually I did some of the most successful ones I've done. I actually crumpled that letter and just put it in a number 10 envelope, and you can tell there's something different inside it. Yeah. And it was part of a whole sequence and got huge response. So yeah, you don't even have to spend the money on the trash can, although you can, and it's good. I've even mailed toilet paper roll, put it in a clear plastic bag, and stuck the letter inside there. And so I always seed my name, myself in something, And so I sent it to my UPS box. And when I walk in, they said, "You won't believe what you got in the mail."
That's great.
So,
and
yeah.
Just so anybody listening to this and wants to do the cell phone mailing, it still be done. I don't know. Back then, the phones would come with 10 free minutes, which was perfect. That's all I needed. I haven't sent one in a while, and I think you have to buy a card, so it adds to the expense a little bit. But something that I didn't do that I should have, if I sent a cell phone and I didn't get a response, 2 weeks later, I should have sent the plug and saying, "Hey, 2 weeks ago I sent you a phone. It's probably dead by now. Here, plug it in and give me a call." That's something I didn't do, but something I would recommend that people do moving forward.
You mean the plug into the electricity?
For the cell phone. Yeah, the cell phone had gone dead probably two weeks after not being used. So here, plug it back in and give me a call.
Oh, that's clever. One place I think is I like to go to the dollar store and just kind of wander around.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Because I'll get ideas there. Tell me some success stories from your client base, those who have let you implement. Tell me some stories.
Well, that's just it with the birthday marketing thing is there's no great response. I mean, because realize you're only mailing 1/12 of your list every month, and you can test things. You don't have, there's a business in this area. There's actually 3 different restaurants. Their offer is 1 free chicken wing for every year of your age. So if you're 50, you can go in and get up to 50 chicken wings. So that's something you definitely want to bring other people. But they're very strict. It can only happen on your birthday. There is a big long list of things that you can't do and you can do, and they're very strict about it, but they're not building an email list with it. They're just saying, "Hey, come in off the street. If you're 50 and you can prove it, you get up to 50 free wings." They'll bring out 10 at a time to your table. They're not just going to plop 50 in front of you. You can't take them home. So there's a big long list. So there's not any big story of things that worked dramatically. It's just a nice thing that happens. Your list grows. In my experience, 30% of the people on your birthday club list will come in during that time. So you're not going to go broke if you do it right. But it really adds to the word of mouth factor. I do this for a chiropractor, and he said he was dining at the restaurant where he sends postcard gifts to, and he ran into one of his patients who was there using their birthday card. So as I say, there's not that big thing. It's just a nice, even you can test something every month and find the birthday offer that works well for you and works well for the business. So there's not any of that dramatic thing in the birthday marketing space. It's just a nice, even keel, nice thing to do to stand out amongst your patients or your clientele.
Well, I often say in marketing, there needs to be a reason why. Why are you doing it? Well, the reason why is it's your birthday. It's a perfect reason why.
Right. Hey, do you want to join our email list? Well, why? Well, we send you coupons. We want to send you a nice birthday gift. And when you send a birthday gift from your business, if you've been smart and you've teamed up with somebody else, the next week you can send them a free piece of dry cleaning from the dry cleaner, or a free ice cream cone, free flour, that whole thing. So you can do some nice things for them. But then during the rest of the year, you can send them special offers once you get them on your birthday club list.
Wow. Well, I am looking at the clock, and we are almost out of time, but I got one more question. Do you work only with local businesses, or can you be the marketing implementer for businesses around the country?
I can be the marketing implementer for businesses around the country. Absolutely.
So anybody listening to this might want to reach out to you. Leo, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Well, if you're a food-related business, I would go to, birthdayclubmanager.com. If you just want to talk about using birthdays in your business, you can go to birthdayprofitsystems.com, and give me your information there, and we can chat about how you can implement birthday marketing in your business. And I'm not a hard salesperson. These days, everybody wants to get you on the phone to sell you the big high-cost thing. I just love talking about marketing in general and birthday marketing specifically, as you can hopefully tell from my enthusiasm. So it's not going to be a hard sell. I'm going to tell you what you should do, and if you need me to help you do it, I can do that. And obviously, I can give you my phone number, 518. I'm in the upstate New York area near Saratoga and Albany, 518-288-8711, 518-288-8711. or leo@birthdayprofitsystems.com. leo@birthdayprofitsystems.com. And that phone number you can text or call.
Well, this is amazing. I was so excited because I love direct mail as well. And of course, combining it with your email, it makes a whole lot of sense. I remember Bill Glazer always saying it's not an either or, it's a both and.
Right,
so you do both of them, not just one or the other.
Right.
So Leo, thank you so much for being on today's show. I appreciate it, and I'm sure everybody listening will appreciate it as well.
Well, Nina, I appreciate being here, and I'm going to tell you that I just bought themarketingimplementer.com. So this podcast cost me money, but that's okay. I don't mind.
Wow, that's called taking action.
Exactly. Well, Marketing Implementer was taken, but the Marketing Implementer was not. So in the future, people will be able. I'm sure I'll put on a redirect right away to one of the birthday sites. But themarketingimplementer.com belongs to me now. Thank you for that.
Don't thank me. Thank you, because you did it. So until next time, this is Nina Hirschberger saying go out and figure out how you can use birthday marketing in your business and reach out to Leo. Until next time.
Thank you for listening to MegaBucks Radio with Nina Hirschberger. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or to listen to past episodes, visit megabucksradio.com.